TIFU by forgetting to lock my door? Drop a like and be sure to follow for more. So TIFU by forgetting to lock my door, this actually happened years ago, but I never really found the space it belonged in. Hopefully here is right. I don't use social media much, so please forgive my poor formatting. I, 23F then, had just came home with some groceries and put them away before going into our basement, step up to be an entertainment space, and started watching a movie with my then 3-year-old. I was just beginning to sink into the black hole that is TikTok when my roommate Chelsea came down. Chelsea was panicked, but instantly relieved to see my son sitting next to me. She then started telling me about how she saw a car drive by and shout, "Hey, that's child abuse!" but was blocked by the neighbor's house and could not actually see what the driver was shouting about. My neighbors only have adult children and no grandchildren, though, so her first thought was that my toddler had maybe escaped and was loose. It had never happened before, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. If you're a parent or some sort of child handler like a teacher, you know what I mean. As Chelsea was finishing telling me she heard a noise upstairs, I honestly didn't hear anything, but I told my toddler to stay in this room with the door locked till I come back. I went up the stairs first. I'm much bigger, and to put it bluntly, just have more experience with fights than Chelsea. I truly expected to find nothing, maybe the wind blowing a bedroom door closed at best, and maybe a nosy neighbor also investigating the claims at worst. We are very close to many of them, and my neighborhood is cozy and quiet. Nothing in this world could prepare me for what I saw as I turned the corner to my entryway. There was a spilt moment where I genuinely thought, this isn't real, I must be seeing things, maybe a gas leak. Towering above me was a man, tall, pale, with beached hair, and to my dismay he was completely nude aside from a small chain and an I Heart Boobies bracelet. It was all out there. I put on my scariest, most dad voice I could and yelled at him to get the f out of my house! My roommate assures me that my yelling was intimidating, but this guy was not fazed. He turned to look at me and just said, "Are you my friend?" in a voice unnervingly calm. So I yelled back, "No, I don't fin know you, you need to go." He just asked again, "Are you my friend?" in the same cadence. It was at this point that I started to make observations and started drawing some conclusions. This guy was having a serious episode, medical emergency, or was on something. He wasn't getting aggressive. He was young. Don't get me wrong, he looked old enough to drink, and I shudder at the thought of a kid that desensitized to being intimidated, but he had no tattoos, no scars, no sun damage, no muscle. I switched to a much softer, caring, some would say more normal tone, and asked him if he was okay, if he needed any help, and if I could call someone for him. I opened my door and reached out for his arm, but he met my hand and held it for a while as he stared at me for what felt like forever. I wear one of those spiny anxiety rings, and he was fidgeting with it before answering, "No one can help me now." In the same monotone voice, that was enough for me, because what in the horror movie? So I shoved him out and locked the door. My roommate had called the police almost immediately when we saw him, and by the time I locked my door, all he could do was rip my mailbox down before the police came. I couldn't watch after that. I went to check my whole house for more friends. There wasn't any. But I've since seen the Ring video of the incident. It's seriously an episode of Cops. Some key moments for you guys. At first, only one cop rolls up, and you can tell on his face he's already over this call. Naked guy listens to him to begin with, sitting down and sort of answering the cop's questions. "What's your name?" "Harry." Harry what? Harry Balls," sort of things. Then Harry realizes that's the cops I should run. So Harry gets up to run, but decides rather try fighting, which Harry lost and then asked for a hug, which gave my house our second favorite phrase of that day: "No, I don't hug sweaty naked guys." Second only to the cop that showed up next, who just said "WTF," so exasperated when he pulled up and saw an actual naked guy because, yeah, dude, same! He was in my living room. In the end, he was arrested and took a guilty plea. He ended up being only 15, so a lot of details were kept from being public. Unless one of you is Harry, we probably never will have his version of things, unfortunately. As for what the child abuse was about, Harry tried to go into my neighbor's house first, and I guess my neighbor stopped him very physically. and the driver likely thought it was a parent and child fighting in the yard and not a random teen breaking into houses and like fair. The weird part is he wasn't naked until after, and no one knows when or where he took them off. Oh, and my normally clingy and inquisitive toddler stayed locked in that room for 3 hours until I came back. I'm still so proud of him for that. He's now 6 and has no idea about the naked guy incident, as we call it in my circle. But when he turns 15, I'll have one hell of a story for him.